Picture yourself on the deck of a weathered ship, the horizon swallowed by a merciless storm. The waves roar like beasts, the wind howls with doubt, and the darkness presses in, threatening to shatter your resolve. You grip the wheel, your heart pounding, unsure if you'll ever see land again. This, my friend, is the storm of self-doubt, the tempest that rages within when you dare to dream, to act, to rise. It's the shadow that looms over every bold idea, every uncharted path, whispering that you're not enough, that failure awaits. But what if you could navigate this chaos with unshakable certainty? What if you could act as if everything always works out for you, even when the gales scream otherwise? Welcome to the battle against the shadow of doubt. In this journey, we'll uncover the roots of fear that anchor you in place, and I'll show you how to trust your inner compass. No matter how fierce the storm, you're not just surviving this, you're steering toward triumph. Are you ready to take the helm? Imagine yourself as a young professional, sitting in a sterile conference room, the hum of fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. You've spent weeks crafting a bold idea, a project that could redefine your career, a vision that burns in your chest like a lighthouse in the fog. Your colleagues drone on with safe, predictable proposals, and your turn approaches. Your palms sweat, your throat tightens. What if they laugh? What if they see through you, exposing every flaw you've hidden so carefully? The storm of doubt crashes over you, each wave a memory of past rejections, of times you dared and stumbled. You picture your idea sinking, drowned by criticism, and the urge to stay silent grips you like an iron chain. So you hesitate. You let the moment slip, burying your brilliance beneath a forced smile. The meeting ends, and you're safe but empty. That night, as you stare at the ceiling, a quiet ache festers. You know you've betrayed yourself. But here's the turning point. What if, in that storm of fear, you had trusted your compass? What if you had acted as if everything would work out, regardless of the outcome? Picture this instead. You stand, voice trembling but resolute, and pitch your idea. Some nod, others frown, but you've spoken your truth. Later, a senior colleague pulls you aside, intrigued, offering to mentor you. Even if the idea had been rejected, you'd have gained respect, experience, a map for the next attempt. The storm didn't destroy you, it showed you the way. The lesson is clear. Doubt is not your captain. You are. Trust your inner compass, even when the winds of fear howl. Acting as if everything works out doesn't mean ignoring the storm. It means steering through it, knowing the shore awaits. Now, let's step into the cluttered studio of an artist. Paint-splattered brushes scattered like fallen soldiers. You've been working on a piece for months, a canvas that holds your soul, a story of grief and hope woven into every stroke. But halfway through, the storm descends. Doubt creeps in, cold and insidious, whispering that your work is meaningless, that no one will see what you see. You compare yourself to others, their polished galleries mocking your raw edges. Each brushstroke feels heavier, each color duller, until one day, you stop. You drape a cloth over the canvas, abandoning your creation to gather dust in the corner. The storm has won. You've let fear capsize your ship, leaving you adrift in a sea of what-ifs. How many visions have you buried under the weight of inadequacy? Yet imagine a different ending. What if you had pushed through that tempest, trusting that every storm eventually breaks? You return to the canvas, hands shaking, and paint one more line, then another. Days pass, and slowly, the piece transforms. It's imperfect, yes, but it's yours, a beacon of resilience. You share it, and though not everyone understands, one viewer is moved to tears, seeing their own pain mirrored in your art. The storm of doubt didn't sink you. It carved your path to connection. The truth emerges like dawn over rough seas. Acting as if everything works out means finishing what you start. Not because success is guaranteed, but because the act of continuing is your victory. Hold your compass tight. The harbor of fulfillment lies beyond the gale. Let's dive deeper into this shadow of doubt that haunts you. Where does it come from? It's not just a fleeting thought, it's a storm brewed from years of conditioning, from every no that stung, every fall that bruised. It's the voice of a teacher who dismissed your potential, the echo of a parent who cautioned against risk, the scar of a dream that shattered. Society, too, fuels this tempest, preaching safety over daring, conformity over creation. You've been taught to fear the unknown, to see failure as a dead end rather than a detour. But ask yourself, how many times has doubt protected you? And how many times has it imprisoned you? How much have you lost by letting the storm steer your ship? Think of doubt as the dark waves crashing against your hull. It feels real, overwhelming, but it's not the truth of your journey. It's a distortion, a fog obscuring the compass within you. A compass forged from your values, your passion, your unyielding spirit. Acting as if everything works out isn't blind optimism. It's a deliberate choice to trust that inner guide over the chaos. Like a captain who knows the storm will pass, you must hold steady, even when visibility fades. Painful memories of failure aren't anchors. They're the currents that teach you how to sail. Doubt isn't your enemy. It's the wind that tests your resolve, pushing you to grip the wheel tighter. Can you feel that strength is stirring in you now? You were never meant to cower in the hold. You were born to navigate, to chart your course through the wildest seas. Let's reflect further on this compass, this quiet certainty that lives in your core. It's not loud like the storm of doubt. It doesn't scream or rage. It's a steady whisper, a knowing that guides you when all seems lost. But why is it so hard to trust? Because the storm is immediate. Its waves slap against you. Its thunder deafens. The compass, though, requires faith, a belief that beyond the chaos lies purpose. It's the voice that urged you to try again after your first heartbreak, to stand after your first fall. It's the instinct that tells you, even now, that you're meant for more. Have you ever stopped to listen to it, truly, without the noise of fear drowning it out? Picture your life as an endless ocean, each decision a turn of the wheel. The storm of doubt will always rise. It's inevitable, as natural as the tides. But acting as if everything works out means aligning with your compass, not the squall. It means understanding that every detour, every wreck, is part of the map. A ship doesn't reach shore by avoiding storms. It reaches by enduring them, by learning their patterns, by trusting its course. So too, must you trust that every challenge is shaping you, not breaking you. You're not lost. Even when you feel adrift, your compass points true, always. The question is, will you follow it, or will you let the storm decide your fate? Now let's arm you with tools to face this shadow. When doubt storms in, threatening to capsize your dreams, don't freeze. Pause. Breathe. Feel the deck beneath your feet, the wheel in your hands. Ask yourself one question. What's the smallest step I can take right now to keep moving? Maybe it's writing one sentence of that proposal, sketching one line on that canvas, or simply saying, I'll try. That step is your defiance against the gale. It's proof that you're still sailing, still in command. Doubt thrives on inaction, so rob it of its power. Move, even if it's slow, even if it's imperfect. Next, anchor yourself with evidence. Write down 3 times you faced fear and emerged stronger, moments when the storm passed, and you found shore. Keep this list close, a logbook of your resilience. When doubt roars, read it. Remind yourself that you've navigated rough seas before, and you will again. Finally, speak your certainty aloud. Whisper to yourself, this will work out. I trust my path. Words shape belief, and belief shapes action. You're not just surviving the storm, you're mastering it. Trust your compass. Take that step today. The horizon is closer than you think. Here's another lifeline for when the shadow of doubt looms. Create a ritual to ground yourself before the storm hits. Each morning, take 5 minutes to visualize your ship cutting through turbulent waters. See yourself at the helm, steady, unyielding, the compass glowing in your mind. Imagine the waves of fear crashing but not breaking you. Feel the certainty that, no matter the chaos, you'll reach your destination. This mental rehearsal builds a shield against doubt, training your mind to act as if everything works out, even before the first gust strikes. Then surround yourself with a crew, people who believe in your voyage. Share your fears with a trusted friend, mentor, or journal. Speak them into existence and watch how their power dims. Often, doubt grows in isolation, but connection starves it. Ask for encouragement, not solutions. Sometimes a simple, "I believe in you," is the wind that fills your sails. And when you falter, return to your ritual, your crew, your small steps. You're not alone in this storm. We're all navigating our own seas, learning to trust the compass within. Start now. Build that resilience. You've got this. As we close this first leg of our journey, let's stand together on the deck of your ship, the storm of doubt still rumbling in the distance. You've seen how fear and self-doubt root themselves deep, how they threaten to steer you off course. Through the stories of the hesitant professional and the struggling artist, you've felt the weight of hesitation, the sting of abandoned dreams, but you've also glimpsed the power of trusting your inner compass. How acting as if everything works out transforms the storm from a threat into a teacher. We've dug into the origins of your uncertainty, challenged its lies, and armed you with steps to navigate forward. The key lesson is this: doubt is not your truth. It's merely a test of your resolve. Trust your compass, even when the seas rage. This is only the beginning. Ahead lies the challenge of embodying that certainty, of living it in every choice, every risk. But for now, hold fast to this truth. You are the captain of your destiny, not the storm. Let this mantra guide you through the shadows, a beacon in the night. Trust your compass. The shore is always within reach. Picture this: a tiny seed, buried beneath layers of unyielding, rocky soil. It has no guarantee of sunlight, no promise of rain, yet it presses upward with a quiet, relentless force. Why? Because within that seed lies an unshakable belief, a knowing that it was made to grow, to break through, to bloom. You are that seed, right now, in the midst of your struggles, doubts, and unseen battles. You hold the same power. This section, Planting the Seed of Belief, is about cultivating an unshakable belief in positive outcomes, a cornerstone of living as if everything always works out for you. It's not blind optimism. It's a deliberate choice to trust that every hardship is soil, every setback a nutrient, fueling your inevitable rise. Feel that stirring within you? That's the first crack in the rock. Let's push through together. Imagine you're a student, sitting alone in a dimly lit dorm room, staring at a test paper marked with a glaring red F. Your heart sinks like a stone in a still pond. You've studied for weeks, sacrificed late nights, and still, failure stares back at you. The voices creep in. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe you've chosen the wrong path. You think of quitting, of walking away from the dream of becoming an engineer, a doctor, or a writer. It feels like the soil above you has turned to stone, suffocating every ounce of hope. But then, something shifts. You pause. You remember a story your grandmother once told you about a seed that refused to give up, even when buried under the harshest earth. You decide to act as if this failure isn't the end, but a beginning. You tear a page from your notebook and write down every mistake you made on that test. Next to each, you jot a lesson. Study smarter, ask for help, practice more. You don't react with despair, you respond with resolve. You don't crumble, you cultivate. Weeks turn to months, and slowly, those red marks become stepping stones. A C becomes a B, then an A. That first failure wasn't a wall, it was a crack in the soil, letting light seep in. The lesson here is clear. When failure strikes, don't see it as a verdict on your worth. See it as fertilizer for your growth. Like a seed, your belief in a positive outcome, your choice to act as if everything works out, fuels your push through the rock. You didn't just pass a test, you planted a belief that no setback can uproot. Now, picture yourself as a single parent, juggling endless responsibilities. You wake before dawn, prepare meals, rush to a dead-end job, and return home to a child who needs your every ounce of energy. You're tired, bone deep, soul-weary tired. But in the quiet of night, a dream flickers, a new career, one that lights you up, one that could provide more for your little one. Maybe it's starting a small business, going back to school, or learning a trade. The idea feels like a fragile seed, buried under the weight of bills, doubt, and fear of failure. What if it doesn't work? What if you lose everything? Yet something inside you whispers to trust. You act as if everything will work out, even when the odds seem stacked against you. You save a little each week, enroll in a night class, or sketch out a business plan on a napkin. Every step feels like pushing against granite, but you keep moving. One day, a mentor notices your grit and offers guidance. Another day, a small client says yes to your first pitch. The soil begins to shift. Years later, you stand in a place you never imagined, stable, thriving, showing your child what belief can build. This story isn't just about a career change. It's about planting a seed of belief when the ground feels impossible. You didn't wait for perfect conditions. You trusted in unseen support, in the idea that every struggle was preparing you for a breakthrough. Like that seed, your belief grew roots deeper than any obstacle, proving that when you act as if everything works out, the universe conspires to make it so. Let's dig deeper. Why does belief matter so much? Why must you act as if everything always works out, even when the evidence screams otherwise? Consider the seed in rocky soil. It doesn't question the weight above it. It doesn't curse the darkness. It simply pushes, driven by an inner certainty that growth is its destiny. You too must embrace this truth. Struggle is not your enemy. It's the very soil that shapes you. Every rejection, every delay, every tear you've shed, they're not signs of defeat. They're the minerals feeding your roots. Think about it. How many times have you looked back on a hardship and seen its purpose? How many so-called failures carved the path to your greatest wins? The beauty of acting as if everything works out is that it transforms your lens. A closed door becomes a detour to a better room. A loss becomes a lesson in resilience. You're not ignoring reality, you're rewriting it. Belief isn't passive hope, it's active trust. It's the choice to see every crack in the rock as a chance for light to break through. So, stand firm. Let the weight of your challenges nourish you. Your bloom is coming, even if you can't see it yet. Here's another layer to ponder. A seed doesn't grow alone. Beneath the surface, unseen forces, water, warmth, nutrients, sustain its fight. So it is with you. When you act as if everything works out, you open yourself to the unseen rain of support around you. Have you ever noticed how, in your darkest moments, a kind word, a random opportunity, or a quiet strength emerges just when you need it? That's not coincidence. It's the universe responding to your belief. This isn't about magic or wishful thinking. It's about alignment. When you trust in positive outcomes, you radiate a quiet confidence that draws help toward you. You notice opportunities you might have missed. You inspire others to believe in you. Doubt, on the other hand, blinds you to the rain. It builds walls where bridges could stand. So, ask yourself, are you looking for the light or fixating on the shadow? Are you trusting in the unseen or fearing the unknown? Choose belief. Let it soak into your core, like water into parched earth. You are supported, even when you can't see the source. Keep pushing upward. The surface is closer than you think. Now let's get practical. Cultivating an unshakable belief in positive outcomes isn't a one-time act. It's a daily practice. Start with this simple step. Each morning, before the world's noise creeps in, take 5 minutes to plant your seed of belief. Close your eyes and visualize one goal or challenge ahead of you. See it working out, not just vaguely, but in vivid detail. Picture yourself succeeding, feel the relief, the joy, the strength. Speak aloud one affirmation. I trust that this will work out for me. Let those words root deep. Next, create a belief journal. Every evening, write down one moment from your day where something worked out. No matter how small, a kind gesture, a problem solved, a step forward. Then, write one challenge you're facing and reframe it as a stepping stone. For example, this delay isn't a setback, it's teaching me patience. This practice trains your mind to seek the light, to act as if every twist is part of a greater plan. Belief grows through repetition. Water it daily, and watch how even the rockiest soil begins to yield. Here's another tool to build your belief. Act despite the doubt. When fear or uncertainty looms, don't wait for perfect confidence to strike. Move forward as if the outcome is already assured. Facing a tough conversation? Prepare, breathe, and step into it trusting that clarity will emerge. Considering a bold move, like the single parent in our story, take one small action, research, ask a question, make a call, acting as if support will meet you halfway. Here's a tangible trick. When doubt creeps in, pause and ask yourself, what would I do right now if I knew this would work out? Write down the answer, then do it. This shifts your focus from fear to possibility. Action fertilizes belief. Each step, no matter how small, proves to your heart that you can push through the rock. You don't need to see the full path. You just need to trust the next move. Act as if, and the evidence of your strength will follow. As we close this chapter on planting the seed of belief, let's gather the soil of our insights. You've seen how a student turned failure into fuel, how a single parent trusted in unseen support to leap into a new life. You've reflected on struggle as the very earth that shapes you, and belief as the force that draws unseen rain to your roots. You've armed yourself with daily practices to nurture trust and act despite doubt. The takeaway is this: cultivating an unshakable belief in positive outcomes is the key to living as if everything always works out for you. It's not about ignoring the rocks above. It's about knowing you were made to break through them. As we move forward, remember that belief is just the beginning. In the next section, we'll explore how to water the seed with consistent action, turning trust into tangible triumphs. For now, hold this truth close. You are stronger than any obstacle, more resilient than any storm. Keep pushing, keep trusting, keep growing. Plant your belief, push through the rock. Your bloom is inevitable. Picture yourself standing before a blazing forge, the heat searing your skin, the air thick with the scent of molten iron. In your hands, a hammer. Before you, a raw, unshaped mass of metal. Your challenges, your doubts, your uncertainties. You are the blacksmith of your destiny, and every strike you make is a choice to shape chaos into strength. How will you wield your hammer when the outcome is unseen? This is the heart of forging unbreakable resolve, acting with unshakable confidence, even when the future is a shadowed veil. Within the grand tapestry of believing that everything always works out for you, this section is your crucible. It's not about blind hope. It's about crafting certainty from the raw material of doubt. You are here to learn practical strategies to stand tall, to strike with purpose, to transform every uncertainty into a blade of resilience. Feel the heat, grip the hammer. Let's forge your resolve together. Imagine yourself as a young athlete, lacing up worn-out sneakers at the break of dawn. The track stretches endlessly before you, a gray ribbon under a sky still bruised with night. You've lost every race this season, each defeat a weight on your chest, each jeer from the crowd a splinter in your pride. Coaches shake their heads. Friends urge you to quit. Why bother, they ask. Your muscles ache, your breath burns, but deep within, a quiet voice whispers, act as if every step is building toward victory. You don't see the finish line of success yet, but you trust the process. You run anyway. Day after day, you pound the track, sweat mingling with determination. You study your form, adjust your stride, wake before the sun to train when the world sleeps. Losses pile up, but you refuse to flinch. You picture yourself as a blacksmith at the forge, each failed race a piece of iron under your hammer. Every misstep, every stumble is raw material. Confidence becomes your fire, persistence, your anvil. You strike and shape, knowing that failure isn't the end, it's the heat that tempers your spirit. Then one race changes everything. Months of unseen effort crystallize in a single moment. You surge past competitors, your legs a blur, your heart a drum. The finish line rushes toward you, and for the first time, you cross it first. The crowd roars. But the victory isn't just in the win, it's in the resolve you forged through every grueling morning. You acted as if everything would work out, and it did. The lesson burns bright. Confidence isn't born from guaranteed outcomes. It's hammered into existence through relentless trust in your own grit, like molten iron shaped by a steady hand. Your challenges became your strength. Keep striking. Your triumph is being forged. Now, Farkinus, step into the shoes of a small business owner. Your desk a battlefield of crumpled plans and unpaid bills. You've poured every penny, every sleepless night, into a vision, a tiny bakery on a quiet street, where the scent of fresh bread could weave a community together. But the world scoffs. You'll fail, they say. No one shops local anymore. Customers are scarce, and doubt creeps in like a thief. Yet, you act as if everything will work out. You see beyond the empty storefront to a future of bustling mornings and loyal faces. You are the blacksmith, and this struggle is your iron to shape. You rise early to perfect recipes, knead dough with hands that tremble from exhaustion, and smile at every rare customer as if they're family. You ignore the naysayers, investing in a vision they can't yet see. Each slow day is a strike of the hammer, each setback a spark from the forge. Confidence fuels you, not arrogance, but a quiet certainty that persistence carves paths where none exist. You hang flyers, offer free samples, build connections one handshake at a time. Slowly, word spreads. One customer becomes 10, then 50. Your bakery hums with life, laughter, and the clink of coins. The naysayers fall silent, but you knew all along. Acting as if success was inevitable shaped your reality. The takeaway is clear. Confidence transforms raw challenges into strength. You didn't wait for proof to believe. You forged belief through action. Every empty day was a piece of iron under your hammer. Every doubt a flame to temper your resolve. You built your empire, unseen at first, but real in your heart. That's the power of acting as if everything works out. Strike boldly. Your vision is taking shape. Let's pause at the edge of the forge and gaze into its roaring heart. Uncertainty is not your enemy. It's the molten iron waiting for your touch. How often have you hesitated, hammer raised, because the outcome wasn't promised? How many dreams have you left unshaped, fearing the heat of failure? Understand this. Confidence isn't a gift bestowed by certainty. It's a muscle you build by acting in spite of the unknown. When you act as if everything will work out, you're not ignoring reality, you're reshaping it. You're telling the universe, I will forge my path, whether the iron yields today or tomorrow. Think of life as a vast smithy. Every challenge, be it a lost race, a failing venture, or a personal doubt, is raw material. The heat of uncertainty burns, yes, but it also softens the iron, making it pliable to your will. Your confidence is the hammer, your persistence the steady rhythm of strikes. You don't need to see the final blade to know it's forming. You trust the process, just as a blacksmith trusts that each blow brings the metal closer to its purpose. So, when doubt sears you, don't flinch. Step into the heat. Act with the certainty of a craftsman who knows the iron will bend. Everything works out for you, not by chance, but by the strength you forge in the fire of the unknown. Stand firm at the anvil of your life and consider this. Trust is the foundation of unbreakable resolve. Not trust in outcomes. Those are beyond your grasp, but trust in yourself. Why do you falter when the path darkens? Why do you question your strength when the iron feels too heavy? The truth is, acting as if everything works out isn't about predicting the future. It's about anchoring yourself in the belief that you can shape it. You are the blacksmith, and trust is your anvil, unyielding, steady, a surface on which chaos becomes order. Picture a river carving through stone. It doesn't know where it will end, but it flows with unshakable purpose, wearing down mountains over time. That's you. When you trust your process, uncertainty looms like a jagged peak, but your steady actions, your daily strikes at the forge, erode its power. Trust turns doubt into dust. It lets you act with boldness, even when the iron burns hot or the path twists. So, when fear whispers, "What if it doesn't work?" answer with a strike of your hammer. Trust that every effort, seen or unseen, is shaping your strength. Everything works out for you because you refuse to stop forging. Let trust be your anvil. Let it hold you steady as you craft your destiny. Now, let's temper theory into action. Confidence isn't a distant ideal. It's a tool you wield every day. When uncertainty clouds your mind, whether it's a looming deadline, a risky decision, or a personal setback, pause, don't react in panic. Instead, take a deep breath and act as if everything will work out. Start with this simple step. Visualize the outcome you desire. See yourself crossing the finish line, sealing the deal, or mending the rift. Hold that image like a blacksmith eyeing the blade within raw iron. Let it guide your next move. Next, break the challenge into one strike at a time. Don't stare at the mountain of doubt. Focus on the next step. If you're an athlete, commit to one more practice. If you're a dreamer, take one small action toward your vision. Write a plan, make a call, learn a skill, then must speak confidence into being. Tell yourself, "I've got this. I'm shaping my strength." Say it aloud if you must. Words forge belief. Finally, track your strikes. Keep a journal of every effort, no matter how small. When doubt creeps in, look back at the iron you've shaped. See how far you've come. These steps aren't magic. They're the hammer swings of resolve. Act as if success is inevitable, and watch uncertainty bend under your will. Doubt is a loud voice in the quiet of your mind, but you can silence it. When it sneers, "You'll fail," or "This won't work." Don't argue. Don't wrestle with shadows. Instead, forge ahead with deliberate action. First, anchor yourself in a ritual of confidence. Before facing a challenge, stand tall, shoulders back, and breathe deeply for 1 minute. Feel the hammer in your grip, the heat of the forge in your chest. Remind yourself, "I act as if everything works out. I shape my reality." Then counter doubt with evidence. Write down 3 past moments where you overcame uncertainty, times you struck the iron and it bent. Maybe you passed a test after doubting yourself, or landed a job despite rejection. Keep this list close. It's your anvil of proof. When the inner naysayer speaks, read it. Let history remind you of your strength. Lastly, move. Doubt thrives in stillness. So take one bold step, send the email, make the pitch, start the project. Action is the hammer that shatters hesitation. You don't need certainty, you need resolve. Act as if the outcome is yours to shape, because it is. Strike now. Your iron awaits. As the embers of this forge glow before us, Let's temper the lessons of unbreakable resolve. You've seen the athlete transform losses into victory, the visionary carve an empire from doubt. You've reflected on uncertainty as molten iron, trust as your anvil, and confidence as your hammer. The key takeaway is this: acting as if everything works out for you isn't wishful thinking. It's a deliberate craft. You forge strength from raw challenges by choosing to act with boldness. Even when the outcome hides in shadow, every strike, every step, every choice shapes your reality. You don't wait for certainty, you create it. Stand tall now, hammer in hand, and know that the heat of uncertainty only makes you stronger. As we move forward, we'll carry this resolve into deeper waters, exploring how to sustain this belief through life's fiercest storms. But for now, let this truth ring like steel on anvil. You are the blacksmith of your destiny. Keep shaping, keep striking, keep believing. The blade of your success is forming, even if you can't yet see its edge. Forge on. Your strength is unbreakable. Picture this: the night is black as coal, the wind howls like a beast unleashed, and the waves crash with a fury that could shatter stone. Amid this chaos, a lighthouse stands, unyielding, its beams slicing through the storm, a silent promise that the shore is near. You are that lighthouse. Life's tempests will test you, slamming doubts and fears against your foundation. Yet, here you stand, called to embody the unshakable belief that everything always works out for you. In this moment, as the world rages, can you hold your ground? Can you trust that the light within you will guide you through? Welcome to a journey of resilience, a chapter where we confront the chaos head-on. This is about standing firm when life tests your mindset, when every fiber of your being screams to give up, yet you choose faith over fear. Within the grand tapestry of acting as if everything always works out for you, this section, Standing Firm Amid Chaos, dives into the heart of unwavering belief. You'll see that the storms are not here to drown you, they're here to forge you. Let's walk this path together, through stories of grit, reflections of truth, and steps to anchor your soul. Are you ready to shine, even as the waves roar? Imagine a small, weathered house at the edge of a quiet town. Inside, a family of four huddles around a kitchen table, bills stacked like a mountain they can't climb. The father, Mark, lost his job months ago when the factory shut down. The mother, Elena, works double shifts at a diner, her hands raw from endless hours. Their two children, barely old enough to understand, sense the tension in the air, the hushed arguments, the forced smiles. Payday is a distant dream, and the bank's letters grow more threatening by the week. Eviction looms like a dark cloud, ready to burst. Mark stares at the numbers, his heart pounding. What if we lose everything? He whispers to Elena late one night. She grips his hand, her voice steady despite the tremble. We act as if it works out. We keep going. Something will turn. Days turn to weeks, and the struggle deepens. Mark takes odd jobs, mowing lawns, fixing fences, anything to scrape by. Elena barters meals at the diner for extra shifts. They teach their children to find joy in small things. A walk in the park, a story before bed. They refuse to let despair take root. One evening, as hope feels like a fading ember, a neighbor knocks. He's heard of their hardship and offers a lead on a warehouse job. It's not much, but it's steady. Mark takes it without hesitation. Then, a local charity, moved by Elena's quiet strength, delivers groceries and a small grant to cover rent for a month. The waves of chaos still crash, but this family stands like a lighthouse, their faith a beacon. Slowly, the tide turns. Mark's job becomes permanent. Elena cuts back her hours. The children laugh again, unaware of how close they came to losing it all. What's the lesson here? Like a lighthouse enduring the storm, their unwavering belief that everything would work out guided them through the darkest hours. They didn't have proof, only trust. They acted as if relief was just beyond the horizon, and it was. When life tests your mindset, remember their story. Your chaos is not the end. It's the proving ground for your resilience. Hold fast. Your light will draw the help you need. Now I picture a solitary figure hunched over a desk in a dimly lit room, surrounded by crumpled papers and half-empty coffee cups. This is Sarah, a writer with a story burning in her soul. She's poured years into her novel, a tale of loss and redemption. But the world doesn't care. Rejection letters pile up like fallen leaves, dozens, then hundreds. Not the right fit, they say. Market isn't ready, they claim. Each one stings like salt in a wound. Friends tell her to move on, to get a real job. Late at night, doubt creeps in, whispering, "You're not enough." Her savings dwindle, her confidence frays. Yet, Sarah clings to a single truth. She must act as if everything works out. She writes through the pain, revises through the tears, submits through the fear. One day, after another rejection, she sits by the window, staring at the rain. She could quit, shelve the manuscript, bury the dream, but something inside, a quiet fire, refuses. She sends her work to one more publisher, a small press she's never heard of. Weeks pass in agonizing silence. Then, an email arrives. They love her story. They want to publish it. It's not a blockbuster deal, but it's a start. That first book sells modestly, yet it opens doors. A second contract follows, then a third. Years later, Sarah stands at a book signing, readers clutching her novels, thanking her for words that changed their lives. The rejections, once crashing waves, are now just echoes. She stood firm, a lighthouse in her own storm, her faith in the outcome unyielding. What do you take from Sarah's fight? Resilience isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about shining through it. She acted as if success was inevitable, even when every sign said otherwise. Her mindset, rooted in the belief that it would work out, kept her pen moving. When chaos tests you, let her story be your anchor. Your breakthrough may be one submission, one step, one day away. Keep beaming your light. Let's pause and look inward. You've felt the waves, haven't you? Those moments when life slams against you, loss, failure, uncertainty, and you wonder if you'll hold. But consider this. A lighthouse doesn't stop the storm. It defies it. Its foundation, carved into rock, laughs at the tempest. Its light doesn't flicker, even when the winds scream. That's you, right now, if you choose to be. Acting as if everything works out isn't blind optimism. It's a deliberate stance, a refusal to let chaos dictate your spirit. It's the quiet certainty that the storm will pass, and you'll still stand. Think of your own tempests. How many times have you bent under pressure, only to rise again? How often have you feared the worst, only to find a hidden path forward? Pain isn't your enemy, it's your ocean, vast and wild, teaching you to navigate. Resilience is your beam, cutting through the dark, showing others and yourself that safety awaits. When life tests your mindset, remember that faith isn't passive, it's a muscle, flexed every time you choose to believe, to act, to endure. You are not at the mercy of the waves, you are the guide through them. So, tell me, what storm are you facing today, and how will you shine through it? Let's dig deeper. Imagine a ship caught in a squall, tossed by waves taller than its mast. The crew panics, but the captain stands firm, eyes on a distant point. He trusts the compass, even when the horizon is lost. That compass is your belief that everything works out for you. It's not a wish, it's a tool, forged in the fires of past struggles, polished by every time you've survived. When chaos roars, trust is your anchor, holding you steady while the world spins wild. Without it, you drift. With it, you steer. Reflect on this. Trust isn't built in calm waters. It's hammered into shape when bills pile up, when doors slam shut, when hope feels like a fool's game. Yet every time you've acted as if the outcome would favor you, haven't you found a way? Maybe not the way you imagined, but a way nonetheless. The lighthouse doesn't question the storm's purpose. It simply stands. So must you. Chaos tests your mindset to reveal your strength, to show you that faith isn't fragile, it's unbreakable. Ask yourself, when did doubt last steal your light? And what would happen if, this time, you refused to let it? Now, let's turn philosophy into action. When chaos strikes and your belief wavers, you need a plan to stand firm. First, breathe. Stop the spiral of panic by grounding yourself. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Feel your feet on the earth, your heartbeat slowing. This isn't just calm, it's control. You're reminding yourself that you're still here, still standing. Next, name your storm. Write down what's testing you, be it debt, rejection, or fear. Seeing it on paper strips its power, turns a monster into a challenge. Then, beside it, write one reason to keep believing. Maybe it's a past victory, a loved one's faith in you, or simply the refusal to let chaos win. Read it aloud. Let it be your lighthouse beam. Finally, take one step, not 10, not a leap, just one. If you're broke, call a friend for a job lead. If you're rejected, revise one page of your work. Action, however small, proves to your mind that you're not defeated. You're acting as if it works out, and that motion builds momentum. Repeat daily, stand firm. The waves will tire before you do. Here's another tool to keep your mindset unshaken. When doubt creeps in, create a proof vault. Grab a notebook or a digital doc and list every time things worked out for you, even in small ways. That time a bill got paid just in time. That moment a stranger helped when you were lost. That job offer after months of silence. These are your bricks, building a wall of evidence that the universe conspires in your favor. Review this vault weekly, especially when chaos looms. Add to it with every new win, no matter how minor. Then, when the storm hits, open it, read it, remind yourself, you've survived before, and you will again. Pair this with a daily affirmation. Stand before a mirror, look into your own eyes and say, I act as if it works out. I stand firm. Say it until you feel it. This isn't fluff. It's rewiring your soul to see light through the dark. Your faith, reinforced, becomes your shield. Use it. As we close this chapter on standing firm amid chaos, let's anchor the truth we've unearthed. You've walked with a family through financial ruin, watched them hold on to hope until help arrived. You've stood with a writer, felt her rejections like blows, yet cheered as she broke through. You've reflected on the lighthouse within, a symbol of unwavering faith that guides you through life's tempests. The key lesson is this: resilience and faith, when tested, become your greatest strength. Acting as if everything always works out for you isn't a gamble. It's a choice to shine, no matter the storm. Remember, yet chaos is not your end. It's your forge. Every wave that crashes against you shapes a stronger foundation. Every doubt you defy builds a brighter light. As we move forward, carry this with you. You are unshakable, a beacon for yourself and others. The next section will build on this, guiding you to wield this mindset as a tool for transformation. Until then, stand tall. Let the waves come. You are ready. Stand firm. Your light pierces any storm. Picture yourself on the edge of a towering mountain, shrouded in a fog so thick you can barely see your own hands. The peak is out there, somewhere, but it's hidden, a mystery beyond the mist. Yet you climb, you grip the jagged rock, plant your feet with unshakable resolve, and ascend with a certainty that defies the unknown. Why? Because you've learned a truth that burns brighter than any doubt. Everything always works out for you. Welcome to the summit of your journey, where we celebrate the transformation and long-term impact of living with this unshakable belief. In this moment, you're not just surviving the climb, you're mastering it. You've reshaped your life by acting as if every step, every stumble, every storm is part of a greater plan. Let's stand together on this ledge, and feel the wind of change, and revel in how far you've come. The fog may obscure the peak, but your heart knows the way. Are you ready to see the view from the top? Imagine yourself years ago, a shadow of who you are now. You were timid, shrinking from the spotlight, your voice barely a whisper in a room full of noise. Opportunities passed like clouds, and you watched them drift away, paralyzed by the fear of falling. But something shifted. You decided to act as if everything always works out for you. That decision wasn't a magic spell. It was a spark, a quiet, stubborn flame that grew with every small step. There was a moment, a defining one, a chance to lead a project at work, a role you'd never dared to take. Your palms sweated, your mind raced with visions of failure, but you acted as if success was inevitable. You prepared relentlessly, spoke with a conviction you didn't fully feel, and stepped into the unknown. The fog of doubt surrounded you, just like that mountain climber unable to see the peak. Yet, you moved forward, and something extraordinary happened. The team rallied behind you. Your ideas, once buried in silence, became the foundation of a triumph no one saw coming. Mistakes were made, yes, but each one taught you. Each misstep was a foothold on your ascent. Now I look at you. You stand before others, not as a shadow, but as a beacon. Your boldness inspires those who once doubted themselves, just as you did. They see in you what you couldn't see in yourself back then, a force carved by belief. You've become a leader, not by chance, but by acting as if every challenge was a stepping stone to something greater. The lesson here, as clear as the mountain air, is that transformation isn't a gift. It's a choice. When you live as if everything works out, you don't just change yourself, you ignite change in others. How many lives could you touch if you keep climbing with this certainty? Now picture another version of you, a dreamer with a vision so vivid it kept you awake at night. You wanted to build something, create something, become something, but the path was a labyrinth of risks, and every turn screamed, turn back. Starting that business, writing that book, or moving to a new city, each dream demanded a leap into the void. Yet you chose to act as if everything would align in your favor. You didn't wait for guarantees. You moved through the fog, trusting the unseen peak awaited. Recall one risk that felt like madness. Perhaps it was quitting a stable job to chase a passion. Friends called you reckless. Logic warned of ruin. But you acted with a quiet certainty. You saved what you could, worked late into the night, and poured your soul into a venture others couldn't see. There were nights of doubt, days when the bank account dwindled to nothing, and moments when the fog of uncertainty seemed endless. But you kept climbing. You acted as if every rejection, every setback, was weaving a larger story of triumph. And then, it happened. A client said yes. A reader found your words. A door opened when you least expected it. The rewards weren't just financial, they were personal. You grew roots of resilience, branches of wisdom, and a harvest of confidence no one could take away. Today, as you reflect on that journey, you see the long-term impact of living with this mindset. The risks you took weren't just gambles. They were investments in a version of you that could weather any storm. Like the mountain climber, you couldn't see the peak through the mist, but you trusted it was there. And now, standing on this height, you realize the greatest reward isn't the destination. It's who you became along the way. What dream are you holding back on, fearing the fog, when the summit is just one bold step ahead? Let's pause on this ascent and gaze into the fog that surrounds us. It's easy to see it as an enemy, a barrier between you and clarity, a veil hiding the peak of your potential. But what if the fog is your ally? What if it's not there to stop you, but to sharpen you? When you act as if everything always works out, the fog becomes a teacher. It forces you to trust your inner compass, to feel the rock beneath your feet rather than rely on what's visible. It strips away distractions and demands you focus on the next step, not the distant horizon, In life, clarity is a luxury, not a guarantee. Yet, you don't need to see the peak to know it's there. Your belief, your unwavering choice to live as if all will align, becomes the light that pierces any mist. Consider this. How many times have you feared the unknown, only to find it was shaping you for something greater? The fog of uncertainty in your career, relationships, or personal growth isn't a curse. It's the crucible where your strength is forged. When you embrace it, acting with certainty despite the haze, you transform. You no longer wait for perfect conditions to move forward. You become the mountain climber who ascends not because the path is clear, but because the journey itself is the reward. The long-term impact of this mindset is profound. You build a life not of fleeting winds, but of enduring power. You become unshakable. So tell me, what fog are you facing now? And how will you climb through it with the certainty that all will work out? As we climb higher, let's reflect on what the peak truly means. You might think it's the end, success achieved, goals met, dreams realized. But living as if everything works out reveals a deeper truth. The peak you see is only a stepping stone to another. Each summit reached unveils a new horizon, a taller mountain in the distance. This is the beauty of your transformation. By acting with certainty, you've rewired your soul to see challenges not as walls, but as invitations. The long-term impact isn't just in what you've accomplished, it's in who you've become. A relentless seeker of growth, a climber who knows the fog only hides temporary limits. Think about the mountains you've already conquered. Each time you acted as if everything would work out, you didn't just overcome an obstacle, you expanded your vision. A failed venture taught you grit, a broken relationship built your wisdom, a missed opportunity showed you patience. These aren't endings, they're elevations. The fog may have hidden the next peak, but your belief carried you there. What if every struggle you face now is just preparing you for a view so vast you can't yet imagine it? The key is to keep ascending, to celebrate each transformation as proof that you are limitless. Your life, shaped by this mindset, becomes a series of peaks, each one higher, each one revealing more of who you are meant to be. Now, let's ground this philosophy in something tangible. Celebrating your transformation isn't just about feeling good, it's about sustaining this mindset for the long haul. When the fog of doubt creeps in, and it will, here's how to act as if everything works out. First, anchor yourself with a daily reminder. Each morning, write down one outcome you're certain will happen, no matter the obstacles. It could be as small as, I will connect with someone today, or as bold as, I will close this deal. Speak it aloud. Let it be your foothold on the mountain. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a declaration of intent that shapes how you move through the day. Second, when setbacks strike, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how could this be working out for me? Maybe a rejection is redirecting you to a better path. Maybe a delay is giving you time to prepare. Train your mind to seek the hidden advantage, even in the thickest fog. Finally, celebrate every step. Yes, every single one. Did you show up today? That's a win. Did you push through fear? That's a summit. By acting as if everything aligns in your favor, you build a habit of resilience that becomes your greatest strength. Keep these actions close and watch how they transform not just your day, but your entire journey. Another way to cement the long-term impact of this mindset is to think beyond yourself. You've climbed your mountain, faced the fog, and transformed through belief. Now, share that certainty with others. Start by modeling this behavior in your daily interactions. When a friend doubts their path, don't just sympathize, challenge them to act as if their breakthrough is inevitable. Share a story of your own ascent, a moment when you couldn't see the peak but kept climbing. Your transformation becomes their inspiration. Next, create something tangible that reflects this belief. A project, a journal, a community. Document your journey, not for vanity, but to leave a map for others lost in their own fog. Teach a skill you've mastered through persistence. Mentor someone who reminds you of your once timid self. Each act of giving reinforces your certainty that everything works out because you see it ripple into the lives of others. This isn't just personal growth, it's a legacy. When you live as if all aligns in your favor, you don't just reach your peak, you help others find theirs. How will you share your climb today? As we stand here, high above the world, the fog begins to lift. You see now the transformation that comes from acting as if everything always works out for you. You've turned timidity into boldness, dreams into harvests, and uncertainty into unshakable strength. The long-term impact of this mindset isn't just in the peaks you've reached, but in the climber you've become, someone who moves with certainty even when the path is hidden. The key lesson of this ascent is to trust the unseen summit, to live with a belief so fierce it carves mountains into stepping stones. Every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt has shaped you into a force that cannot be stopped. Take this with you as we prepare to journey onward. The next section will delve deeper into sustaining this belief, into weaving it into the fabric of your everyday. But for now, hold tight to this truth. Let it be your chant, your rhythm, your guide through any mist that lies ahead. Climb with certainty. Your peak is always within reach.